Hey, what is up, everybody? I'm playing some Dayz. It's been a while since I played some Dayz. I've got my Jilly Suite, got my DMR, got my bike. Now, one of the best things about this server is that my bike has nitro. Yes, it does have nitro, and I'll show you a little cool trick to do with the nitro later on. But one of the things you need to remember when using nitro things is that you will crash many times and you will die. So you do have to carry either extra wheels, extra scrap metal or things like that, because it's inevitable that you will crash into certain things. Now, I did hear somebody shooting around here. I think it's a mission, because I did see a Ural and an old mission over there that's been taken care of. Now, either he's taken out all the AIs and I've just stumbled upon him doing his business here. You can see there's a lot of dead bodies here. I have turned the brightness up a little bit of this because it's dark and it's at night. And I must say that I really enjoy servers that have that variety of... Most servers have two restarts of day and a third one is dark or something like that, or maybe 3 in 1. So it's 3 day and 1 night. And this particular server has daytime till about 12 o'clock at night, and then it's going to be night until 6 o'clock in the morning. So you get like a whole 6 hours of darkness if you want to operate in the darkness. And I think that kind of brings me back to the old days as I used to be. I remember we used to try and get into the servers really early on in the morning when light was just coming back on. There was no night vision goggles and all that sort of stuff. It was all to do with gamma and your HDR quality and all that sort of stuff. So it kind of reminds me a little bit back of the old Dayz as it used to be. You can see there's another AI there crawling. Don't know why he's crawling around, but I still hear him shooting, so he's definitely taking this mission. Now, there's going to be choices and more choices. Obviously, in the world of Dayz, as you all know, there's not that many friendlies these days, and everybody kind of shoots on sight because everybody's looking for gold. They want to set up on the server, they want to put a safe down, make a little base, or whatever he's trying to do. But that's not always going to be your best scenario. The best bet is to try, especially with the nitro bikes, and I mentioned that I'm going to show you something a little bit later on, which is pretty cool and you should be trying yourself. It's risky, but it's definitely worth it. You can see the cache has been taken. What's the weapons cache? It is. I can see there's 2 of them, so I could have shot. Maybe I could have taken one out, then take the other one out. I mean, obviously it's going to be pretty easy taking them out when they're just looting. It's an easy shot. It's 300 meters with a DMR. Pop, pop. 2 shots and they're both down. But one of the other things you can do is wait them out, let them do their thing. You're on the nitro bike, you could do 100, 150 on a straight road, or you could do pretty much the same speed, and you can follow them to see where they live. Now, once you know where somebody lives, then obviously you could do, and it opens a lot of possibilities for you. You can either wait them out, you can see where their base is, you can wait for them to open their safes and then strike. There's a lot of things that can go sort of your way if you know where somebody lives and who they are. And the other thing why you wouldn't want to be shooting at night, because you just never know. Maybe there's that third guy. Oh, by the way, if I sound a little bit funny, it's because I have a man cold or the sniffles or something like that. See, there's a little bit up there. Not sure if somebody landed that there or has just been there the whole time. I've never actually checked. I'm thinking to myself, if there was a third guy, and these guys are being quite exposed and they're pretty easy to shoot at, I'm thinking he would have shot by now. I think a lot of the people in Dayz these days want to get as much loot as possibly from a mission. On the other hand, I settle for a lot less. Sometimes I'll wait the mission, I'll let you clear it. If I get a chance, maybe I'll take you out, but if I don't have a chance, I'll wait and I'll pick up the rest. Everything's worth money in the end. Yes, I'm not going to get the best gear that's worth 10 gold or whatever, and not get the car or anything like that, but I'm still going to get enough to set up on the server, because I've only been playing the server for a couple of hours. I've done a mission, got a bit of gold, got myself a good weapon and whatever I needed, some supplies, went looting around the airfield a little bit, found the ghillie, and that's me kind of set up. Obviously, I don't really have anything on the server, but whatever I have is what I can carry so far. So, as you can see, I've got my bike here, still got my ghillie, I got my VSS in here because I'm going to a mission. Missions are going to be one of those things that if you can take out silently, the AIs don't really know what hit them. They don't really respond to certain things like VSS or any kind of SD. They usually sort of go full retard. Now, one of the other things that you could do with a bike, that I mentioned earlier on, you can go, as long as you get across, well, close-ish anyway. You can see I'm doing 80, 90, 100 on the bike, but as long as I get close enough, that's close enough, I'm pretty much there. I have claimed the mission already, and I'm just going to bike it up, get into another set of woods, and I'm set. Yeah, they're going to probably clip me one time because I'm obviously there's 6, 7, 8, 10 guys shooting at me, and they're shooting M60s and all that sort of stuff. But once I get enough distance from them, then I'm pretty much set. Not only that I've claimed the mission, and anybody that's not put a waypoint on it or a marker on the mission doesn't know where the mission was anymore. And for those that already have the marker set up and they want to go to the mission, I have the upper hand. If somebody was in there camping it and just waiting for somebody to come and try and take it out, and waiting for you to take so many shots to take out all the AIs, obviously you would have known where I was. Taking the mission like this, it is risky because you're risking going past the AIs and doing a lot of the things that you kind of don't want to do at the same time, but it has better rewards. You can see that's where the mission's at. Now it's up to me to either wait the mission out, give it 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, see if somebody comes and starts shooting, or I can take out the mission myself in sort of relative safety. You're never going to be safe in the world of Dayz because there's always going to be people around the map traveling and biking about, and you never know who you're going to meet. But with an SD weapon, knowing where the mission is, knowing that not a lot of guys will have this mission available, you're going to be the only one knowing what you've really been planning. That's is going to give you a huge advantage. You can also just wait it out. You know, somebody's eventually going to come out that's put a marker down and take it out. In this case, for me, I'm just going to circle around a little bit, get myself 500-600 meters out where I can have a vantage point over the mission, make sure that I can get to that mission if need be, and if I hear shots, I can see what's going on around it. Or I can just start taking the mission out myself, and that's going to be fairly easy and, well, fairly safe. It's never going to be really safe, but you see what I mean. So that's where the mission's at. Looks like I'm shaky a little bit because that dude did shoot me. Time for me to get some of them meds. And once I got my meds, I can now decide what I'm going to do. Either I'm going to take this or I'm going to wait. Now, I did wait for about 5 minutes. I seen that nobody was coming up. There was no shooting going on. So I decided to start taking the AIs out. And for some reason, they all disappeared. Once you killed them, they all disappeared. I've noticed that on certain servers before. I've noticed some sort of servers have a couple of minutes. If you don't loot them in a couple of minutes, they'll disappear. If you roadkill them, they don't actually have a weapon. So it could be either something that's implemented on a server, or maybe it's a little bug or something they have on the server that the AIs don't actually stay there. But they were there while I was shooting them, so I'm thinking maybe it's going to be a couple of minutes before you actually get to loot them. If you don't loot them, let's say within 5 minutes or something like that, how long it takes you to kill all of them, I think they will just disappear. But nevertheless, the loot's going to be all inside, so I'm just going to go and help myself to a few things. You can see there is a bandit here that's dead. That was guarding this. Like, he has just a flashlight and a knife on him, so that's pretty weird. You get prone here, you're always going to get stuck in these little things. But there's going to be some loot in here for me, so I'll take some of that. Since I'm new to the server, I don't really have anything. I'm not going to go and put a lot of effort into making a camp. The only thing that I really have is a safe, which I've been to a few times, and I dropped a few things off. And obviously, if I'm going to a mission, I'm going to go empty. I'm just going to go with a basic weapon that I can use at close range, at long ranges. And that's the reason I took the VSS. But one of the main reasons I don't tend to make a camp is because it's something for people to attack. Early on, when you join a server, you just want to set up somewhere out of everybody's way. You can do your thing. You can find out who the big fishes on the server and know where they patrol, how they patrol, what missions they go to, and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, not everybody goes for the medical missions, not everybody goes for the shitty missions that nobody really wants. They'll go for the IKEA missions, they'll go for gold, you know, the bandit or pirate missions that lost their gold, and stuff like that. You know, those are the missions the guys on big bases will go for, and some of them will have huge towers built in open areas where missions spawn around them, so you can't really do those missions. You're forced to go and take those missions from their camp in order for them to spawn somewhere else. Therefore, you're exposing yourself to their tower, really, because they can just sit in a tower and you wouldn't really know where they are. And once you've got close enough, I mean, if you got Lapuas and stuff like that, they can easily take you out. So that's another strategy why you'd want to be, just keep it on the low down for now. Find out what everything you need to know in a day or two about the server. Know where stuff is. I mean, I usually like to drive around the server a little bit, especially on a nitro bike. It takes me like no time to get all the way up north and then make my way up to Gooba that way, which is on the eastern side of the map. Just find out where bases are and stuff like that in the woods. Usually a lot of choppers spawn up that way. People have camps up there, and it's good to find out what everything is. I can see there's a guy here doing something. I think he just shot everything. I'm a little bit late. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to let him make his move, and when I get a chance, I will be taking him out because I need some more loot for my camp. As I don't really have much, one of my strategy is get a safe. That's like the priority. Get a safe, put it down somewhere close-ish to a trader. Get in as many guns you possibly can in it, and then just do runs of Starry back to your safe, Starry back to your safe, and sell. If you get a large gun bag, obviously you can carry 5 weapons plus the weapon in your inventory. If you're fairly close to Starry, then you might risk it in not actually having a weapon that you can use and take 6 weapons to sell. Now, you've done that a couple of times. If you sell in M60s, PKPs, M14s, they're all worth 10 gold. You've done 2 of them trips. You've already got a safe. You already got enough money to buy a safe. Now, as I said earlier, the reason I don't tend to go for bases and stuff like that, especially massive ones, is because they cost money. They cost money to maintain. They cost money to build certain doors, cinder blocks, and it's just a target for people to shoot at. You know, easily somebody can camp it out. You're not going to be always guaranteed your safety in your base. There's always going to be exposed places where you get to be exposed, and that's not always a good thing. You're always going to be on the move when it comes down to the newest Dayzs. That's the way I find it. I mean, maybe you guys find it a little bit different, but I find it it's easier to always be light and always on the move. Now, you see this guy has been sort of doing all his business. He's done everything. He's loaded everything in Ural. I know he's going back at this, and once he's gone back here, I'm just going to go ahead, and there you go. I don't know what he's doing, something. There you go. He's not doing any more. Being shot. Good. Just take whatever he's got. An M10. I'll take that. And I think he's loaded everything into that Ural, so I'll just take whatever I can off him. MVGs, PDWSD. He's got some good stuff with him. It does get dark here, as I mentioned earlier on, so he's got a couple of more things here, but the M60 sells for 10 gold, so I'm going to get that. The M249. Most servers, you can't really sell that weapon for some reason. I don't know why they left it like that. So I'm going to hop in here and see what he's put everything in. Yes, he has. He's put a couple of things in, so I'm going to go ahead and take whatever I can on me. It's always good to have stuff on your body, just in case somebody does end up shooting at your car, the car explodes, it blows up. If you do end up making it out and your car's blown up, at least you've got something for your trouble. You went to a mission, you did all that mission, it's there for you. At least you got something out of it. So time for me to get in there, get my bike, get whatever I need, and get back to selling things. Now, I could have taken the Ural and taken the scenic route to Starry, but Ural's slow, he's noisy, it's going to pretty much attract a lot of people to you, really, and I don't really need that hassle since I'm only just trying to set up here. Now, went back to camp, got a few things dropped off, and it was time for me to go and see if I can get some more loot, because obviously like anybody else, I do need things myself. I do need weapons, I do need camos, I do need certain things. And this being a Nitro server, trust me, I have crashed epically a few times and it led to my death and all that sort of stuff. You are gonna crash a lot, trust me, but it's fun as hell. Now, there is zombies around here, so I know there's somebody around here because I was just biking along and there was some shots going on. The shots kind of came my way. In the beginning, I really thought that somebody actually spotted me and he was shooting my way. There was pretty much popping around me. Now, either maybe they were shooting the zombies, maybe they did actually spot me. I can't really tell, but there he is. Now, it's kind of funny going up all this way. Maybe he was looking for me or not, but I don't know. I'm not going to take that chance of letting them know what I am and I have a safe around here, because obviously nobody's really going to camp you safe. But still, hey, looks like there's two of them here now. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something. Well, they were doing something. They're not doing any more. I just can't have people shooting at me around my camp. That's just not the way it is, you know. Take a couple of things off them. There we go. What I tend to do is I tend to take the most expensive stuff, the stuff that you can sell. Obviously, you're limited to the amount of gear that you can carry, but sometimes the small little things make a difference. You know, like e-tools and stuff like that. Some servers you can sell them for 4 gold each. Carrying 2 e-tools, it's 8 gold. It's pretty much as a sniper rifle or an M14 or something like that, and it only takes 2 slots. It doesn't take 10 putting them into your bag. You know, little things that you can sell, that's going to make the difference. And obviously you don't want to leave the bodies here because they're going to try and come back and rearm and re-loot their own bodies, so you don't want to leave nothing behind. But that's it for my adventures in the world of Dayz. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. Post a comment and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mr. Jilly Sweet out.